Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. We have a very, very special guest in the building. This man requires really no introduction, Mr. Kyle. I'm like, Kyle, how you doing, brother? Welcome to Fanatic Perspective.
I'm doing great, dude. Man, so glad to be here. I can't believe this is my first time here. I got to be on annually. Let's make this an annual thing.
We must make this an annual thing, Kyle. We've known each other for so long and communicated for so long in the sphere, but never gotten to collab like this. So it is really, I'm so tremendously honored to have you on. For those who may not know, I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't know, but Kyle, my boy Meat over here, it's the debut of Meat on Fanatic Perspective for the real ones out there. But Kyle is probably the biggest Texas fan influencer on social media today, largest Twitter presence, two-time, Longhorn Twitter fan champion.
Back to
back, right? Hard fought, well deserved.
Yes. A little scary at some points, but got through it.
He weathered the storm, right? Hopefully our Longhorns can develop that winning mentality and ability to finish.
Yeah.
The way Kyle did down the stretch in some of those matchups. But I have it here on the bottom of the screen, best-selling author, 101 Aggie facts that all Longhorn fans should know. Publishing a book is probably incredibly hard in itself. My man Kyle figured out how to do that here. And also the co-host of Statistically Speaking podcast. So Kyle, welcome to the show. Tell us about, what you got going on, man. And just, again, so honored to have you on.
Yep. Thanks, man. So if you follow me on Twitter, or if you're on Twitter, you've probably seen my annoying-looking little avatar guy on some sort of post that's been retweeted. I'm the guy with the sunglasses that hasn't changed it in 4 years. That's me. I like stats, specifically Texas stats, specifically Texas positive stats, because as you know, since 2010, we need all the positive mojo that we can get. And so when I got on the Bird app back in 2019, there was a lot of like bad thoughts towards the program. And so I was like, oh, I need to get on here and start posting some positive stuff. And then it blossomed into this thing where now people purposely like come at me during game week if we're playing them and try and have like a stat battle with me. It's all in good fun. It's a lot of fun. And he mentioned the book. I do Aggie Facts every Thursday. Come find me on Twitter on a Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll have some good ones for you. The book is full of my favorite ones. There are way more than 100. So come check me every Thursday. New ones pop up all the time.
Man, that is awesome. And it's one of the things I look forward to on a weekly basis is Aggie Fact Thursday, led by Mr. Kyle Umlang. And you're right, the army of Texas Tech folks, and I know they were able to secure victory against us, but you had to have been flattered by the amount of people out there that were, coming out there, coming strong. I told Amanda, my friend Amanda Atwell, we're all friends with Amanda, and she said, we got to come help out Kyle out here in the trenches. These people out here wilding on the Bird app.
Yeah. It's become like a weekly thing now during football season. It gets pretty crazy. But Sooners, they know exactly what's happening Saturday. So there hasn't been much from them all week. They're trying to lay low, trying not to get bookmarked. Wise decisions.
Very interesting strategy on their part. We'll get to that in a second. I do want to give a quick shout out to our two channel sponsors now, and I'm thrilled to say two. First off, our sponsor here, busr.com/fanatic, the official sports book, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. Sports 100 FP is the promo code. 100% free play match on all initial deposits up to $1,000 within your first 24 hours. We're also throwing in some casino chips for those who want to play casino games. But the biggest thing here is, we got numbers and all these things here. Your over and unders right now. I think over and under is still 65, if I'm not correct. Still -7. Texas may have moved. A lot of movement in Vegas, depending on the quarterback situation and some of the people that will or will not be available. But if you're feeling good, if you're a fan out there, West Virginia fans still hanging around, or whoever joined us over the last few weeks, and you want feeling good about your team carrying momentum or bouncing back, you want to use a reliable partner like BUSR to get your bets in. So shout out to BUSR. The other thing is, and Kyle's rocking it, I'm rocking it, the Last Stand hats. We are officially a part of the Last Stand hat family. I'm so excited about this partnership. LastStandHats.com/Fanatic Perspective. Promo code Fanatic10 to get 10% off on all purchases. As you can see, not just myself, but Kyle, we're customers of Last Stand hats.
Yes.
We love what they do. Great products there. We spend our own money on their apparel, hats, the whole bit. So check out Last Stand hats. I'm really excited to be partnered up with them, and I'll be announcing all that stuff on socials here shortly. Kyle, let's jump into the meat of this, man. No pun intended.
Hey, pun away. I'm plugging it. If you like Winsipedia, which if you're on Twitter, you've seen people post screenshots all the time. Winsipedia. If you have a computer, not a phone, if you have a computer, on my Twitter is a link to Meat. It is my own. It's my own Winsipedia, but the difference is there's more categories to compare, and there is a movable, adjustable timeline. So Winsipedia doesn't do this. You can't on Winsipedia say, okay, how does OU compare to Texas from 1980 to present? You can't do that on Winsipedia. On Meat, you yeet. It's all there.
On Meat, you eat. I love that.
Yes. And then also, if you like betting, join what Fanatic just posted, as well as listen to Statistically Speaking, because we talk about spreads, we talk about why or why not over-unders are good, all sorts of stuff. Like example, the over-under for Texas, over is 65.5. Since 2018, the average score of the Red River Shootout has been 84.2 points. So far in 2022, they're averaging a combined 74 points. 65 is easy money. I would take the over on that. Example of what you'll find on my podcast. Come join it. Come follow it. Come listen to it.
I love that. He's giving y'all candy right off the bat. What a generous guest. We had a guest come onto the show with a plate. You know what I'm saying? Like
Meat's got to eat. Always.
I love it, brother. I love it. Man, let's get into this matchup. We know it is. We know what week it is. We were texting each other like, all right, what are the talk? There are no talking points. We know what the talking points are, right? It's beat OU. It's OU hate week. Right. You mentioned, I was going to start by the anxiety thing because we're for where things are at, it's unusual for us to be favored in the manner where we are. However, you mentioned our OU brethren being so quiet out here on the streets, man. Yeah. I've been having to churn up some of these people because I could have swore they had a different energy before the season started. Maybe I'm tripping.
No, you're not. I have a lot of bookmarks that I'm dropping Saturday. A lot of people very confident going into the season. Not so much now.
We're on some receipts, bro, because this is very, very interesting behavior to be quiet right now. I know some people maybe right before the game they'll get charged up and come out there, but some of the bigger accounts, some of the big names out here in the OU space, the people we are used to going back and forth with, and that's the one thing I love about us as a Texas fan base. No matter how good or bad we are, we loud. We are going to be outside. You will always be able to find me and Kyle, no matter what.
We fight the good fight every week.
Every week. Yeah. Kyle, in all seriousness, I share your anxiety about us knowing the mental state of our football team. I feel like from a physical standpoint, I feel like from an ability standpoint, everything we have the recipe to continue to exploit the weaknesses that OU has shown over the last 2 weeks. I don't necessarily worry about that, regardless of whether or not Hudson Card or Quinn Ewers starts. We'll save that for the next talking point. But talk to me about that anxiety and where that comes from and why you said that.
I mean, it's the Red River Shootout. Since 2014, every single game has been a one-possession game. Texas has been unranked lots of those times. OU's been a top 5 team lots of those times. It's still unranked, ranked. It doesn't matter. It's always a 1-possession game. And I said this earlier in the week, but the perfect example of why this game specifically terrifies me. 2015, Oklahoma, they went 11-1 the regular season, won the Big 10 or won the Big 12, went to the college football playoff, finished top 5 in the AP poll. Great season for them. That one loss was to Charlie Strong's 5-7 Texas. That doesn't happen with any other game. It is almost guaranteed to happen in this game. That's why it doesn't matter if we beat Bama. It doesn't matter if we beat Tech too. I would still be terrified. We have way more to lose than they do. And usually the team that has way more to lose should be worried, should be terrified. And that's why I don't trust it. I'm hoping we can do what we're supposed to do and get a big lead and stay there. But you never know with this game.
To piggyback on that and being in that environment, it's the most unique environment I think you can put yourself in sports-wise. The way we meet at the 50, the way everything is 50-50 in this rivalry. It's like I said yesterday with Chris and Seth, who were also quiet, and now those brothers are back up. I'm glad, because I don't like to see brothers down the way they've been down. I know TCU took them behind the woodshed, but it's a new day, brothers. So
hey, I got some Seth receipts. Don't you worry.
Oh, I know you do. But one thing I told them was this game, in a lot of ways feels like homecoming for both teams. It's really, really weird where everyone's charged up. There's so many players on both sides, families that are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You're meeting 50-50 distance-wise. You're meeting 50-50 in the stadium. There's always noise in that stadium. There's never a point where the whole stadium's down or the whole stadium's, oh my God. Like, it's always, somebody's always up. And so wrestling with that, I remember Sark and our coaching staff saying before the game last year, oh, well, we coached in the Iron Bowl. You know, Sark, Flood, Bank, all those guys.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, guys, y'all need to be prepared for this. Energy is not, I understand what the Iron Bowl is, but that's still a home and home. Right. And so this energy is different. And they came out so freaking charged up and prepared, and to get up the way that they did. But one thing that Lincoln Riley was prepared for was that ebb and flow, even in the game. You know, so many dramatic things have happened. I remember Lincoln taking Spencer Rattler out and telling him to calm down back in, I think it was the 2020 game. So it's a true 4-hour battle and mental battle. And my thing for Texas is the mental side of things, especially knowing our propensity to have struggles in the second half and give away leads and let people back in the game. Sark has been preaching about having a killer instinct and finishing teams. And so that's a big part of where my anxiety comes in, because I have no doubt Kyle will be very prepared to open the football game. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But when we face some adversity, I think these are tests that we need to have answered by our guys. To me, this is, hey, you guys are favored. There's a team that's on the ropes. Y'all really could eliminate OU from their goals. If they go 0-3, I don't think we've had an 0-3 team make the Big 12 championship game.
Nope.
You would take that out. Are you willing to do that, though? Are you willing to go there and work through it, even if it is a close football game, right? And so those are the things where I have anxiety as well, Kyle.
Well, you know, so one of the main things from that anxiety was last year, how, you know, time and time again, I think it was 4 or 5 in a row, where it was literally multiple score lead at half to ranked teams, to the 2 teams that played in the championship.
Yep.
Still no turnaround in the halftime, no adjustments, just let them run all over us. So the key difference about this year is, you know, Bama took a lead. We caught back up. We went back and forth multiple times with them. You know, last year's Texas, I don't know if we could have done that. You know, against Tech, we were up. Kind of the old Texas came back and let them take the lead again. But you know what? The difference was this year, in 25 seconds, we scored a game-tying, send them to overtime field goal. Like, last year's Texas, hell no. Ain't no way they're doing that in 25 seconds. No way. I will bet my life on that. So we are improving. I think last year about half of those games would have been a coin flip with this year's squad. So you throw in those like 3 extra wins, we're at least like 8-ish, 9-ish wins is what we're capable of this year. So I think we can definitely hit that. And I think we are a little different than last year. So I think just that alone, I think, is enough to keep us going throughout the season. So this is our biggest test, obviously. So if we can do it, then I'll be happy the rest of the season, hopefully.
You're starting to reassure me. I like this.
Okay? I reassure myself every single week, no matter who we're playing. I'm like, you know what? And last year I got bit a lot.
It's okay. By that. Our buddy, our buddy in arms, Mr. Kieran out there, he would say right now, Kyle's got the Kool-Aid down there somewhere. And he took several sips before coming on. But you know what? Let's have some Kool-Aid today. Why not? Because it's OU hate week, and we're gonna go and put them away the way they should be, right? So, next question I have for you is one of the things I think that's been a very great positive for our football team is the development of Hudson Card. Yes, he was written off last year, especially after Casey Thompson took him, and quite frankly, I said this, the multiple times that Hudson was able to come in for injury, he was not ready when called upon to seize the moment, to seize the job. And this season, he was faced with that again, and he's been ready. And now I think we're starting to see a young quarterback still in terms of game experience that is developing with more and more reps and looking more comfortable, but also seeing Steve Sarkisian understand some of the things that Hudson Card likes to do and work him more into the game plan. My question for you, Kyle, is everyone's been waiting for Quinn Ewers to make his return, myself included. You can't not see what he did the first quarter against Bama. He was loud.
Right.
Assuming that Quinn Ewers is healthy, not necessarily 100%, but healthy, cleared, ready to play.
Yeah.
If you're Sark, are you going Quinn, or are you going to ride a potentially hot-handed Hudson Card? What decision do you have to make on Saturday?
I am going with Hudson solely because, he's been nonstop every play of the game since he came in against Bama. Quinn's I know he's been practicing. I know he's suited up and stuff, but it's not the same as real-life game experience. And, like you said, Hudson's growing as he plays more. So I think he has enough experience so far this season and enough growth just from the West Virginia game. I think he has enough by himself to be able to get us to victory against Oklahoma, take a lead, keep it, not fizzle out in the second half. And not because I don't want Quinn to play. I just want him to be healthy. I want him to be as close to 100% as possible. I don't want him at 75 being thrown into the Red River shootout. Unless we're down by 3 scores, there's no reason I want him playing. I want him with the bye week coming up. If we can get him a fresh 100% close to that Quinn Ewers for the last half of the season, I think we're well on our way to the championship game. I don't want to risk that by playing him too early.
Absolutely, and it's an injury. I know. Amanda told me everybody likes to be doctors out here, but one thing that she outlined, I thought that was very interesting, was the pain management with his injury. And, we saw in this same game, I know it's not the same injury. I know because somebody in the comments section, and by the way, if you see the comments, hit the like button, subscribe. It's always free to show love. Thank y'all for 12,000 subscribers. We just hit that yesterday. So appreciate everybody out there showing love to the channel. But I know somebody in the comments, probably an OU fan, is going to say, I already know the response I'm going to get to this. I know it's not the same injury, but we saw Sam Bradford in 2009 try to come back into this game. And after he got injured in the BYU game, and guys are going to test your injury, especially something shoulder like that. Aaron Williams hit him clean, but you do a bootleg on a nickel blitz, and Aaron Williams tested it. And Sam Bradford never played another down for OU again, right? And so these are the things, these are the fears that I think anybody should have in terms of, if I'm Brent Venables, if I'm Todd Bates, if I'm Ted Roof, we're going to test it. Like we all saw where he got hit. And so I'm not saying injure the player. Nobody's saying that. But we as Texas, as a medical staff, as a coaching staff, have to be prepared for somebody, somebody leaning on that thing.
Yep, exactly. No one wants that.
Nobody wants that. And I also think Hudson Card, he does present some issues for OU's defense with his legs. If we continue to try to use that, I know he's also been nursing his ankle injury, but damn it, when he decides to take off,
he can run with a hurt ankle faster than I can in my prime. That boy was fast in those games. I was like, what? He's hurt, man. So I have confidence in him doing that. Yeah.
No, he's fast. I think, and seeing some of the quarterback run issues that OU has had the last couple of weeks, Adrian Martinez, Max Duggan on TCU, just running all over the place. If you're Steve Sarkisian, I mean, I know. All right, Kyle, I have something controversial to say.
Uh-oh.
A lot of people have been talking about the Rocat package. The lack of diversity in there. We haven't thrown out of it, blah, blah, blah. I do think those styles make fights. And I think a counter, especially with what OU's showing, then you got to run some Rocat in this game too. And see if they're disciplined enough to defend it the way Tech was showing. I'm not saying you go heavy with it, but I think this is something that Sark should try. I'm going to skip around a little bit, but what are some X factor type things you're looking at in this game to see, in terms of the matchup, the chess match between Steve Sarkisian and Brent Venables?
Yeah. Their the back half of their field is not as good as it has been in the past, which is concerning if you're OU, because going up against Sark, I think he's going to have a field day just with Worthy and Whittington throwing in Sanders as an extra receiver. I think he's just going to have his way with those DBs. I'm looking forward to that. I want Bijan to have like a career high type of game. I want him to explode. I think he will break off a couple like long runs because he always does. He always finds a way to just get through people. I think he leads the Big 12 in broken tackles. But their run defense is the better part of their defense. So I think they're going to be trying to stop him. So I don't know if he'll have a career high game, but I do think we can use that to also open up the passing game too. If they don't know if we're gonna like play action it or whatever, I think that we'll have enough manpower on like our wide receivers to get the job done without even needing Bijan that much. I think the first play of the game last year. I think it's going to be that. I think we have an opportunity to do that a lot more in this game, and I think Sark's he knows that. I think he's going to do that. Don't be surprised at first game or first play. It's that type of bomb. I think it's coming.
And to your point, Casey Thompson had an amazing, one of the best Texas quarterback performances. It's unfortunate we lost that football game, but I mean, when you look at his performance in that game, especially emotionally for him between both sides. But also when we look at, it's exactly what you said. OU was so keyed in on stopping five, and the play action opportunities, especially the deep post that we hit on multiple times against OU last year to Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy had like 260 yards or something crazy.
I think that was his best game.
I mean, that was wild, man. And so he's hitting, but we had those opportunities because of that play action, those deep crossers that Sark likes to run, and the commitment to marrying that with our run game. I think because of what OU has shown, it's I know the phrase that's been thrown around a lot, which is one of the Sabanisms, is rat poison this week. And Sark, I love when Sark just starts throwing out stuff that he got from Nick Saban, but he's been saying rat poison a lot because it's a double-edged sword. It's like you want your kids to look at the film to notice tendencies, to see what their keys are going to be and all this type of stuff. But it's like OU's film the last 2 weeks is so bad that you don't want your kids to start falling into, oh, these dudes suck. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh, like, this is what, like, it's a mind game in itself, because that's what's kept, I think, Texas close in so many years, where we probably should have got blown out by OU, where they look at our film. Charlie Strong that year, we were 1-4 or 1-3 or whatever it was. I think we only had one win coming into that game. And people are talking about, is Charlie coaching for his job? And it's year 2. Right. And we look terrible, but we galvanized. That week it's that rivalry. We galvanized. We had the best week of practice. Everybody's locked in. All of a sudden, we're not making mistakes. And you're in a tight football game where you didn't think you were. And I think that's what Sark is meaning by the rat poison thing. But at the end of the day, football's football. And Bijan Robinson is a special player. What I'm asking for my offensive line is just be good enough.
Yeah.
Be good enough, guys.
If he's good enough to get to the line of scrimmage, he will find his own yards. Don't worry about it. Just get him there first. No gobbling up of him in the backfield. Please.
No more of the backfield. He gets hit. He and Roshan, they get hit too much in the backfield. I mean, and that's why part of the reason why they have so many broken tackles. But if we can get these brothers just adequate, then if I'm Sark, I'm letting OU make that decision. If you want Hudson Card to beat you over the top, well, at least I'm gonna get a whole bunch of one-on-ones for Worthy and Whittington and Sanders, and we're gonna find out what your suspect DB's back there. Yeah, I feel good about that.
Yep, agreed. And one of my favorite Bijan runs ever, it's probably my favorite one, is from last year's game. It was amazing. He like slammed a grown-ass man down on the ground like it was nothing. I loved it. I think he'll have some monster carries, but don't be surprised if he has a bunch of 1 yards here, 2 yards there. He will break some 20-plus yarders off, but it'll come with a lot of grounding and pounding of him first. He has to find it.
100%. But I think Bijan, to your point, will send somebody into the multiverse. You can count on that. We can have that. We can book that on Statistically Speaking. We can book that on me. We can book that. Somebody's getting sent to the multiverse on OU. Dylan Gabriel, in all seriousness, do you play him? I mean, what's your opinion on DG?
No. I mean, I think I'm not a doctor, like Amanda says. But if it was anything close to a concussion, was it a concussion? Was it? Okay. There ain't no way he should be playing. You saw what happened to Tua. No way. If Venables is smart and wants to not have his head on a stake week 6 of the season, do not play him. I don't think there's a giant drop-off. I don't know much about their third string guy. But it can't be that big of a drop-off from second string to third string. First string to – wait, who's the second string
guy? Davis Bevel. Yeah, he played a little bit last week.
Right. I mean, Dylan had, 4 games of experience? Like, it's not like it's like you're seasoned like Baker Mayfield out there, and I don't know if we should play him for the Texas game. We really need this win. Like, I could see them playing him, but it's just a first-year guy. There's no reason to. No way. Don't risk it.
And I think – I applaud the OU fans out here that have been pretty sound on this, to be honest with you, that have said, we don't want to see him out for the best of the kid, for the best of the young man. Like, it's not worth the game. Chris and Seth both said that last night. It's not worth the football game, dude. It's not. Like, we all saw it. The conversation's now really been, there's a lot of eyeballs in this sport, as there should be, on protecting the players from themselves and making sure that the medical staff is not pressured into doing things they shouldn't be doing, whether it's by coaches, boosters, outside influences, totally independent. I understand there's protocol and things that go on. I just can't feel good about seeing somebody knocked out cold that we all saw on national TV play 6 days later. I don't feel comfortable with that. As we move on, though, anything on the Texas defense you got for us? Where you feel good about them in this matchup, or how have you been dealing with their product?
I've been liking what I've been seeing, especially all the picks, like no, not only picks, but scoring off those picks. I think we have the number 1 scoring defense in the Big 12. I think we have 2 or 3 pick sixes on the year. That's great. I love that. That's free points. I would say I would like to see more pressure on the QBs because I think Bama game was the best we did on getting pressure. I don't remember if we ever sacked Tech's quarterback. West Virginia, maybe a couple, but
yeah, West Virginia, we got better pressure.
Yeah,
Tech was a struggle. Tech, they claim we got 44 pressures, but we didn't. I think we recorded.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him. He had all the time in the world, it felt like.
And anyway, we had some fun with the pressure stat. But go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest area of improvement right now at this moment is just getting some pressure on them because you do that and that cuts half of their throws out. You know, like there was a stat, I don't even remember what it was during the Tech game when I was watching it. They were like under pressure, his completion percentage is like it was like a third of what it was not under pressure.
Right.
And I was like, just get him in, just pressure him, make him run while throwing. Like I think we just put more pressure on the quarterback. That's like our main goal on defense.
Well, I think when you're facing regardless of what OU decides to do at quarterback, I think this is another challenge that the OU coaching staff, Jeff Levy, their offensive coordinator, they're going to have to navigate over there because you're going to have a guy in there. Now, granted, whoever it is, or if they play multiple, you will have a week to prepare their game plan, but you really can't simulate real pressure, right? And how that new guy is going to respond. And I think that's something that a lot of young backup quarterbacks just wrestle with. And I think that's something to where Texas is really going to have to get an opportunity to pin their ears back. OU, I can expect for them to counter with short passes, try to get the ball out quick.
I think there'll be a lot of those, a lot of screens, a lot of 5-yard passes. Yeah, for sure.
What I'm really excited about with the defense, Kyle, is my big boys on the inside. They've showed up this year. I've been very loud. I said, y'all took the year off last year, and they've responded to my challenge. Tavondre Sweat, Keandre Coburn, even we're starting to see Alfred Collins and Vernon Broughton come along. Byron Murphy had a great game last week. We got Moro Ojimo back last week. He was really missed against Tech with his ankle injury. He came back against West Virginia, got a sack. My big people are eating on the inside. And I think, Kyle, what that means is you just said it earlier about trying to make the opponent one-dimensional. Our run defense has been better. Jalen Ford at middle linebacker, who's been a tackling machine this year. I really feel like our run defense, we're going to be able to try to really put the game in the hands of whoever it is playing quarterback for Oklahoma on Saturday. At least that's my hope. But this game is crazy.
Yeah, they could just not pass it and run all over us. This game stats mean nothing. Everyone's coming in fresh with a clean slate in this game. It doesn't matter. It's perfect time to be a first time starter. It is. Especially for OU's team, right? They have nothing to lose. Everyone is expecting them to just play like they did against TCU. So I would much rather be in that position in this game because it's like, if you lose, you're like, whatever. I knew we were going to lose, whatever. But I'm just glad none of us are ranked. That is a big kind of like sigh of relief because if we were ranked, I don't know why. There's just bad juju about us with unranked teams. So I'd rather us both be unranked, which is what we are. And OU is 0-7 since 2014 when trailing unranked teams only by 17 points. So last year we led them by 21 and lost it. It's because we were ranked. Now we got the secret. So if we go up by 17, it's done, folks. It's done.
So the rank thing, this is my challenge to the. I agree with you for this year, especially this year as we're building. We're trying to get our mental right in this program. We also have a lot of young players that we're trying to get up to speed under a clean slate of a coaching staff. So I'm with you on that. But I think where Sark wants to get this program to is getting used to being the hunted, getting used to performing when there are high expectations. And so my question to you is, as we kind of transition, we'll do predictions at the end. But as we transition, what are your, where are you at with the program in general? Year 2, how are you feeling? And then what are your expectations kind of down the road over how you see things building out in the program?
So first year, everyone knew. This happens literally every time we turn over the entire coaching staff. I don't know what people expect. Before this year started, I was like, there is no way we're going to be amazing first year. No way. Too many new factors. And I didn't think we'd go 5-7 bad, but it was bad. But it's like a freebie for a first year coach. He doesn't I think Worthy was his only guy that was playing for him last year. This year's got a couple more. It's going to keep growing. I like the direction we're heading, just with wins and losses, as well as like the culture. You were there. You remember all the old alumni, all the old players that came out of the woodwork once Sark was the new coach. They're showing up to practices, tweeting about it, like giving support. Like that was missing. Like the culture there was bad, toxic. So just culturally, I love the direction it's going. I know Sark wants to get us to be that, be the Bama in a couple years, like be that team that everyone wants to beat because they're good, not because they just like throwing horns down, which is how it is right now.
That is how it is right now.
Everyone loves to play us and beat us. They love it. So I agree. I like everything he's doing. I like the direction we're going. I think 5-7 last year. I predicted 8-9 wins this year, but maybe 10-win season year 3. NY6 bowl, playing for the championship for sure. Like no getting 4th place in the Big 12. Next year we have to be playing for a conference championship. So I think we could be doing that this year. It depends on this game, but for sure next year. And after that, I think if we can do that, I think all that monkey will be off our back, and we can finally continue doing that like we used to back when I went to school and back when I got hooked on Texas stuff. We were the big dogs. I miss that feeling.
And you guys, at that point, not every game back then. This is one thing I try to tell to the younger people that follow us, follow this platform. Make sure y'all follow Kyle on Twitter. You already know what it is. But back in those times, yes, Texas was winning a lot. I think Texas had the highest winning percentage in college football in the 2000s.
Yep.
And one of the things though was not every game was a blowout. Let's not do too much nostalgia here. We had some dog fights with teams we shouldn't have been down to. Things, some of those Oklahoma State games with Vince Young were before you blink, we're down 3 scores. But every single time they would figure it out like this, like that. They had the confidence and the ability to clean up mistakes, to get back on track. And then we also had games where we would just turn up on a Colorado and a Joel Klatt and put 70 on their heads. We also had those moments. Okay?
Right. But I totally agree. I remember back then we'd be down by 2 scores. I'm like, guys, Vince has figured it out that we got this. We're fine. The defense will come through, and it always happened. So
always.
I think my entire 2004, 5, 6, 7, I didn't see many losses when we played. We always found a way, and that's what winning teams like Bama. That's what dynasty teams like that. They always find a way. Everyone tunes in when they're like only up by 7 against like some no-name school, and you check the score 10 minutes later, they're up by 4 scores. Like they're just like that. They find ways to win even when they're down, and that's what we will hopefully get to.
It's building it up, man.
Yeah,
it's building it up. I mean, there's
you gotta start small.
Yeah, you do, and there's lessons to be learned. I mean, against us, we take the lead against Bama at the end of the game, and they have to go into 2-minute drill to get in field goal range to win the game. They execute, right? When the chips are down, Bryce Young has to make a play. Ryan Watts has an unbelievable blitz, and Bryce Young makes a Heisman play to win the game. That's the type of stuff Vince Young used to do, right? Yep. And so there's you tip your hat, you move forward, but you also learn the lesson of, okay, they have a winning mentality. Last week, it's 20. They're up 28-0. They lose their quarterback, and they're back.
And here comes Arkansas.
Yeah. And here comes Arkansas. Arkansas cuts it to 28-24, and Alabama winning mentality. 3rd and 15. Jalen Milroe takes off for 75 yards, right? And then they blow. And then, like you said, I turned the channel to Baylor, Oklahoma State.
You come back,
and I come back to Alabama.
Yeah, always.
They're up 45-24.
Always. They always, like Georgia did that last year too. Anytime I would check ESPN, I'm like, they're down by 3, and I turn the game on a few minutes later. No, never mind, they're winning. Those types of teams, I love that mentality that they have, and they always win those games.
If we get to that point of establishing in the program, I think we have all the other ingredients. I truly believe that. That's the final piece. One thing I want to look up is, and I was thinking about that while we were talking before we wrap up here, because this has been great just chatting with you, brother, and I'm so glad you came on. One thing I want to look up is over the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, how often has the favorite coming into the Red River Shootout won the game? Because we talk about the score in certain moments, right? Like 2015 we can point to, we know we weren't favored in that game. In certain elements, but it feels like though with OU, at least recently, no matter how much they were favored, we've played them hard, we've played them tight, we've played them close, and it's a great game, and they're all memorable. The quadruple overtime game, all these games are memorable, but they won.
Right.
And so that's where I want to get my guys to realize is like, hey, this is a rivalry game. You can expect them to throw the kitchen sink at you. You can expect them to be desperate the way Tech was desperate, right? And just going for it like crazy people. However, good teams, if you want to be you're in your favor, you win these, you figure out just how to win the game is my point. And so I'm curious to see how many times the favorite in this game has won over the years. Maybe we can find
I will find that for you in the next few days.
Thank you.
I've added it to my list.
Thank you, sir. Kyle, it's been such a pleasure having you on, man. I know you got a lot going on this week. What do you have to plug, man? Plug away, my friend.
Okay. Aggie Facts. There are 2 books, 2 volumes. Number 3 will probably be out next year if Aggie keeps losing, which they will. So they're on Amazon. If you're on campus, they're right across Guadalupe. They're at the co-op. Go inside the co-op. Last time I was there, I went and signed a couple random copies. So dig through them. You might find a signed copy. They're also at I also do signed copies myself, also ship them from my house. So if you really want one, just DM me and I'll hook you up. Sue Patrick also has them. They're off Burnett Road. Can't miss them. Staple to the UT community. My podcast, statistically speaking, every week we do betting odds, talk about big matchups, who we think is going to win each one. I also have another one called the Lone Star Showdown. It's more of just like a fun one, just banter back and forth with an Aggie. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
I sound like human on it to other Aggies when they listen to it. So it humanizes me. So if you're an Aggie, go listen to that. I'm not as bad as you think I am. And then, just come follow me on Twitter. If you ever need anything, help with a stat, help on your analytics homework, help on with anything. If you want to pick my brain on what you should do with your career in analytics, anything, just DM me. Always open. It might take a while to get to you, but I always like helping out people. And just come say hi.
Well, I just asked for help live on air, as you guys saw. So Kyle's a man of his word, just in terms of jotting that down. And it's really, really appreciate you coming on the show. One fun thing I have for you, Kyle, is my co-host, Mr. Jonathan Tran, who is a big fan of yours, bought not one, but 2 of your books. And our good mutual friend who used to play for Texas A&M at running back, who was during the Dennis Francione era, he gifted one of those books, and I think Tran may have gotten you to sign it already. I'm not sure.
Nice.
If he hasn't. If it's not signed, I'll let Tran know.
Yeah, but, tell him to message me if he needs it signed.
I will.
That's awesome.
I will. Yeah. So
fantastic.
Our buddy BA out there. Yeah, BA he always has something about you, Kyle. He's like, man, he's as big a troll as anybody on the internet, man. Well, I don't know why you guys keep listening to that guy. I'm like, man, bump that guy. I'm like, and I was like, look, he loves you too, brother. He loves you too, BA. So no, I had to get that out there because I know BA is going to see this and he's going to be like, you brought Umlang on the show. You ain't no better than the rest of us, Steve. I already know where it's coming. Thank you, Kyle, so much. Also, I didn't get a prediction from you. Final prediction.
I would say 52 Texas. We will finally put up 50, yes, on OU. 52 Texas, maybe 32, 35 Oklahoma. I think they can get some garbage time touchdowns at the end there. But I think hopefully that's as close as it gets, 20 points around there.
52-32?
We'll say that, yeah.
Okay, 52-32. Very cool. The prediction I gave yesterday, I'm actually the one guy going the other way under.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm going 28-20 Texas. My only logic here, Kyle. There's no logic here to this other than that the game's been weird.
Yes.
And weird things happen. And this is a situation where I could see OU trying to figure out how to play a little keep away. And we may be juggling quarterbacks. Potentially. I don't know.
I didn't think about that. UTSA, perfect example. They came in with this is exactly what we need to do to be able to have a chance at beating Texas, and they executed every single one flawlessly. You're right. They could just pound the ball 2 yards at a time, go for it on fourth down, and just milk a quarter away every single possession. Milking
so much possession.
And just tiring out everyone, frustrating everyone. Damn it. I didn't think about that. I won't sleep tonight. Thanks.
It's not pretty football. The only reason why I'm probably going to be wrong on this, and I'm sorry for going over, but I got to make this point. They are worse than us when it comes to time of possession and keeping the football. They want to fly down the field with Jeff Lebby and go a million miles an hour in the veer and shoot that we used to run back with Sterling Gilbert. So the only thing is, in that offense, when you're not efficient, you're going 3 and out with the quickness. You're coming on the field. It's like the Simpsons gif where the guy walks in and takes his hat off and walks right back out. That's what that offense looks like.
Yes.
With what I'm also kind of saying would literally be what UTSA did is a 180 from what Jeff Lebby wants to do.
Right.
And I think the test here is doing what you want to do versus what gives you the best chance to win. Because I think those are two different things for OU. So we'll see. It's the only reason I'm going 28-20. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
Thank you to our sponsor, busr.com/Fanatic, the official sportsbook, official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. Sports 100 FP, 100% free play match on all initial deposits up to $1,000 within the first 24 hours. Very, very thankful. Kyle threw out so many stats. Go back and run this tape back, y'all, before Saturday. Threw out so many stats that you can bet on. Whether it's prop bets that you want to do, we have a custom bet, where you can kind of generate odds as you go along based upon some of the data you heard here. And then even simple stuff like the spread itself, the over under. You've heard a case, take advantage. Looking for a reliable betting partner. Can't think, statistically speaking podcast. Go listen to the numbers he's throwing out there. He's going to help you across college football. Like we said, we're here to help. So BUSR. Also, if you're looking for merch, we're also here to help. Shout out to a new sponsor, Last Stand Hats. Friends over at Last Stand Hats. Fanatic Perspective. We are part of the Last Stand Hat family. LastStandHats.com/Fanatic Perspective. Promo code Fanatic10 for 10% off on all of your purchases. So Kyle, thank you one more time. Thank you so much for joining. Like you said, we got to make this thing annual, brother.
Yes.
You know what time it is, guys. Horns always up. Hook 'em.